Yo, I just moved my hotel reservation to tomorrow night. I had it for tonight in Whitehorse, Yukon. I am still over 13 hours away according to Google Maps. Yesterday, at the start of the day, according to Google Maps, I had 19 hours left, maybe 20 to get there. And I was thinking that's pretty easy, 10 a day. I got 7 in yesterday, which means if I have another day like that, I'm still gonna be 6 hours away from the hotel at the end of the drive. So if I have 2 days like that, so it's been 0 degrees Celsius / 32 degrees Fahrenheit, exactly freezing for the last like more than 12 hours. And I don't mean like it's been around 0 degrees, it's been exactly freezing since yesterday, since last night, for multiple hours. I thought my thermometer was broken, and then I woke up this morning and it still says exactly 0 degrees. I was like, okay, this thing's broken. And then I Googled the temperature, and the temperature was 32 degrees Fahrenheit, exactly freezing. Somehow it has neither gone up nor down a degree since yesterday evening. The roads are wet, it's currently raining, currently foggy. So I guess if things really clear up and I make great time, I'm gonna regret not having that hotel for tonight. But I think that I just made the decision to give myself a more comfortable trip, slower paced trip. And I don't really want to pull in at midnight, 1 a.m. to the hotel, completely exhausted, crash, wake up in the morning and go. Because that's what I can do when I'm sleeping in my truck. I sleep just as well for the night if all I'm doing is waiting until I'm totally exhausted and going to bed. So, you know, if I purchased this hotel, one thought was I could just not show up. I currently have that card frozen. Long story short, I paid a toll that was billed by text, and I thought it was pretty slick because as soon as I went under the toll booth camera, I got a text that said pay your toll here. I went and paid it a little bit later, and then it was like, wait, that was kind of suspicious. What's this phone number? Why is it not a US number? And why is it not, my first clue was, why is it not sending me the confirmation code? The stupid website's broken. I'm not gonna pay, I'm not gonna sit here forever trying to make it work to pay this toll. And I was like, wait a minute. But it was so slick because I got the text literally the moment that I went under the camera for this toll system in, like, I don't want to misquote the state because it's gonna reflect poorly on the state, but it was a state out east. And that system had been hacked. Like, absolutely. Either that or someone had set up their own independent camera in the bushes off to the side of the road and very quickly recorded my license plate, ran a search, gathered my phone number, sent me a text. And I'm thinking, hey, this system's pretty advanced. Like, yeah, it's advanced because it's a scammer. So I realized what had happened in time to freeze my card before anything happened, because usually what scammers will do is wait a while and then hit the card with a nominal charge that you wouldn't ever notice, and then if it goes through, then they run it for something hefty. And so once I kind of put the pieces together, I froze the card, and then sure enough, a couple days ago it got ran and the transaction failed because it was frozen, and it was this this company that I'd never heard of that was based in the UK. So, or at least the currency conversion was from the UK. So almost definitely what happened, which means that the card I put this hotel pre-authorization on is also frozen. They wouldn't be able to run it, and I was like, I don't want to spend the money at all. I could just cancel this. But more and more, I want to follow through on things. You know, I own a small business myself. I don't like when people cancel on me. I don't like when people don't communicate well. I want the people who say they're going to do business with me to follow through on the agreements that we made. So I'm going to stay there, but due to the legitimate delay caused substantially by weather, partially just because I've taken time to somewhat enjoy the trip and do a few other things and get adequate sleep on the trip, all of which I think are important, and I'm standing by it. I'm committing to that attitude and that approach and that mentality. But regardless, I felt that pushing back the reservation by a day, yeah, I'm sure they're not booked up. I'm sure they have rooms. So I felt that pushing it back by a day was a really reasonable ask, and even if they had charged a nominal fee for that, I would have paid it, but they didn't, which is really nice. So I'm going to give a shout out to Midnight Sun Inn in Whitehorse, Yukon. I called in, I let him know I was going to be delayed by a day. He asked for my name, looked me up, and immediately said, okay, no problem, I will see you tomorrow. And I think that's good business, you know, and those are definitely allowances that I give my customers as well. Like, I won't be happy if you totally back out on me on something you said you were going to use my services for, but if you call me up, give me some advance notice that, you know, something needs to change in a minor way for some reason that's mostly outside of your control, or even if you just made a mistake, I'm gonna be like, okay, I'll work with that. And, you know, if it really affects something, I might ask for a small fee. But in the past, when my customers have done that, I haven't even asked for any kind of fee. It's just, you know, it's things that happen, and I'm aware that things happen on my end too, and I don't expect to be throwing around huge discounts, you know, the second I have to call a customer and say, oh, something's taking a little longer than I thought, or whatever. So, you know, it's a two-way street. I try to treat people the way I want to be treated, and it's really nice when others do the same. And Midnight Sun Inn in Yukon, in Whitehorse, Yukon, you definitely did that, so thank you. And ironically, now this fog is finally clearing up, but now it looks like my thermometer is actually broken, or at least for some reason it's not displaying. I think it might finally have gotten above 32 degrees, but not by much, and I almost slipped and fell in the parking lot right next to my truck. So I know for a fact that the pavement is still super icy and slippery, and I'm hitting 80 kilometers an hour right now, which feels like about the fastest I want to go. And so I still think probably ended up being the right call, and if not, I'm just going to have a lot of spare time tomorrow, and that's not a bad thing. It also, knowing that that's coming up, kind of gives me room to maybe not finish that video today if I don't feel like it, because I'll have some time in the hotel comfortably to sit and work on that. That's my video diary for yesterday. I try to keep one per day, and try to do it in the morning the following day. And I already sat and ate breakfast and got a good portion of that done. But, you know, just it takes a little bit of pressure off, And it's a hard thing for me to wrap my mind around, because ever since I've started this business, I started it under pressure that I put on myself partially, and partially pressure from my real financial situation, which might have improved a lot more quickly if I hadn't tried to start a business and had taken some other route. But regardless, I've had a pressured go, never stop mindset, and partially it's because, you're not working a 9 to 5, you set the hours. And if you are doing that for the first time, you don't really know what kind of hours to set. And 9 to 5 just isn't going to work. Or maybe it will, maybe I just haven't tried it. But regardless, you have this new option to just never stop. And it can be hard to manage that when you start a business. And especially when it feels like, the more work you put in, the better the results will be, which is not, I don't think, necessarily true. And I think that it's time for me to try something else. So I'm just going to keep plugging along here, not worry about the 1 or 2 day delays as they happen. Keep moving forward though.